The award-winning Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org. I'm John DeSando.
I'm Johnny DiLoretto. This is Cinema Classics.
It sure is, boy.
And we got a battle today.
We do.
A battle of the Titans.
Oh, yeah. Susan Sarandon and Annette Bening.
Yeah.
Now, we recently had a show on powerful leading ladies.
Okay.
But I don't think we had either one of these on that show.
Did we not?
I don't think so.
It's criminal.
But anyway, our listener has pointed out to us.
Yeah?
And I think we owe it.
This guy is a pain.
Out of respect. It still may be Elizabeth in Boston. I don't know.
Might be.
But anyway, all right, so we have a face-off between these two grand ladies of film. One is 72, and that's Susan Sarandon. And the other one is 60, Annette Bening.
Okay.
And yet, I probably couldn't tell the difference in their ages if you asked me.
Yeah?
They're both youthful ladies. They're both beautiful ladies. And they're both very fine actresses.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
And like most great movie stars, they get so much better with age.
Oh, yeah.
They do so much by doing so little. You know?
Yes.
And just like all the great movie stars, I think, learn that lesson along the way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, as they age, the camera kind of gets even more like sort of ingrained in their faces.
Yes. And I was thinking that
was a totally stupid sentence, by the way, but
I was thinking, or at least I had that sentiment when I saw Annette Bening in Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And she's playing Gloria Graham.
Right.
Very much like Gloria Graham. You know,
is she?
Yeah,
I don't think she looks anything like
no,
Gloria
well,
Graham,
like in the sense of being gutsy, but unlike her in that she's not ditzy. I don't think anybody ever accused Annette Bening of being ditzy.
No.
Except maybe when she married Warren Beatty.
So how would you articulate their different personas?
Well, I think for me, Susan Sarandon is still the hot pistol that she was in Thelma and Louise. You know, I always feel that way, that she's ready to cut you down, that she has issues, that she's going to put forward in her films or when she's presenting awards or whatever. Where Annette Bening stands back and lets her character come out. She doesn't have a persona for me the way.
Really, you think Susan Sarandon has a persona?
Oh yeah.
Man, you know,
I know.
Susan Sarandon. I mean, I think I'm more familiar with the arc of her career in some ways. She started out. She was a sex symbol. You know, her earlier movies are very like Atlantic City.
Yes,
Burt
very good.
The Hunger.
Bull Durham.
Well, hold on for a second.
All right.
Let me tell the arc. So she starts out as this sort of sex symbol, you know, as this object of desire, and then she hits this phase in her career where she does Bull Durham, which is like the older sex symbol, and it's a very knowing role.
That's right.
You know, and so you see that sort of growth right there. She's become more than that at that point, and Bull Durham really sort of graduates her to this next level of stardom.
And there's only 8 years in between Atlantic City.
Yeah,
and there.
It's amazing.
Yes, and she.
And what a great role that is as Annie, you know, the team lover or whatever.
Oh, good for you.
But then she reaches her apotheosis with Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, 91.
And I don't think she's ever been better. I just watched that movie again recently. It holds up, and her performance, it is, I hate to say, a towering performance, but it's great. She's funny. The scene where she rescues Gina Davis from the rape in the parking lot, and they're walking away, and the guy says something to her,
blows him away,
and he curses at her and says what he should have done.
Great scene.
She turns around, and the sound is perfect. Ridley Scott, you know, uses the gunshot. She blows him away, and then after he's dead, she says, "You watch your mouth, buddy."
Yes, and you
it's
know,
beautiful. It's almost like Oh man, I get goosebumps thinking about
You know,
that.
we recently were talking about buddy films, and Thelma and Louise is the great female buddy film, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because you were recounting to me the final scene in Butch Cassidy,
Yeah.
the freeze frame,
Yeah, that's it, right?
and doesn't Scott have a memorable freeze frame?
Right.
With that car over the
It's
canyon.
the same thing, but so so different. It's not ripping it off. It's a total homage, right? The car frozen in midair,
Yes.
going over the cliff.
Yes.
It's the same thing. You don't want to see Butch and Sundance get riddled with bullets, nor do you want to see Thelma and Louise, you know, hurtle to their deaths.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's great. Yeah. So Susan Sarandon, she became this, you know, Oscar bait actress after that. I don't know that she's ever topped that, or a lot of her films post Thelma and Louise. I think you'd be hard pressed to, you know, remember.
Well, she did at least have a nomination for Lorenzo's Oil, I think.
Yeah.
A much more serious role.
Right.
And Cradle Will Rock that we had talked a little bit about. Then she is also memorable to cult fans for
Oh yeah.
for her role as Janet in the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, wow.
Does she have a relationship with the Dr. Frankenfurter,
Yes,
the
I don't know.
transgender?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, but she did get Best Actress for Dead Man Walking in '95, and I think as she plays the sympathetic nun.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that she moved into something really good.
She-
But you were right after. You were still talking '95.
Yeah.
You know, can I remember anything beyond that?
Right.
Not really.
Now that we're talking about it, Annette Bening's career does have a follows a similar path, right? Annette Bening pops on the scene with the Grifters, and
Yes.
she's like, again, like boom.
You're
she's
so
like
right.
This, you know,
I
this
love the Grifters.
sexually charged presence on screen, and she gets a lot of attention. And then as she gets, you know, she partners up with Warren Beatty, and they do Bugsy.
Oh yes,
She's great in that.
yeah.
Um,
But then
I
I know
love-
you're moving toward '99.
99. What's
Well,
99?
I shouldn't say that. I know you're moving toward '99.
What am I
I'm just
moving towards?
interjecting the one I remember, American Beauty,
Oh,
when she
yeah.
plays Lester's wife.
Oh man, right. That's her. Like that is her Thelma and Louise, and that
Yes.
it is this movie that sort of, you know, captures her in this perfect moment of her craft. You know, she's no longer just relying on being cute and sexy or sultry. Now she's this wife who's frustrated and
Yes.
and she really gets at some really humane notes. She hits some really great notes. in that
Very
movie.
nuanced. Most recently, I remember her in 20th Century Women, where she plays another really heavy-duty role.
Interesting mother. She plays
Yes.
this mom. But for me, her best work in her later, this third phase of her career, is in The Kids Are All Right, where she plays one half
good.
of a lesbian couple with
Yes.
Julianne Moore. Julianne Moore has an affair, a heterosexual affair, with Mark Ruffalo,
Yes.
who is, I think, he's the father to one of the kids. Is
Could
he
be.
not?
Yeah, it could be.
They go, yeah, he's the biological father. And the scene at the dinner table, they're all having dinner together because they want him to be a part of the kid's life. And she slowly realizes over the course of this dinner what has happened and what's going on, and that Julianne Moore and him are having a physical
Yes.
affair. And the heartbreak that passes over her face is one of the most extraordinary moments of screen acting I've seen in the past 2 decades.
Wonderful.
She is amazing. She should have won the Oscar for that moment alone.
She's lost twice to Hilary Swank.
That's
She's been
ridiculous.
nominated.
That's
I know it.
ridiculous.
And I
Although
don't...
Hilary Swank was great in $1 Million Baby.
Although I think her time may still be coming as an actress.
Yeah.
And she's obviously still has work. Once in a while we like to interject this kind of trivia. Her idols. And that often says something about the actress herself. So her idols are Helen Mirren,
Okay.
Frances McDormand, Liv Ullmann,
I like that pronunciation.
and Ingrid Bergman.
Wow.
No, I think that's
It's a respectable bunch.
And there was, for Annette Bening, an urban legend, that she was the model for the Columbia logo.
Oh yeah, because she looks like
Yes, and although many people have discounted that, she believes that she was the model.
With the Columbia, that Columbia.
They renewed it. They renewed it. They did a new
Oh,
modern
they
version.
updated
Right.
it.
Yes.
Okay, so when it was updated,
Right.
I thought she believes that.
Yeah, she believes that.
That's
and
great.
you know what? That
I'm not going to doubt her.
no, and it so symbolizes the strength of her belief in herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, which one for you? Susan
Man.
Sarandon or Annette Bening?
You know, I guess oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna force you to do this.
I will do it.
I have to go with Susan Sarandon, just based on the strength of Thelma and Louise, which I think is iconic.
Yes, it is.
And you know, when I was a kid in college, I saw that movie 5 times. I think it changed my life. So I gotta go with her on that.
And you know, the classier actress is Annette Bening. The more traditionally solid actresses. But my choice is Susan Sarandon, not only for the reason you're talking about. You cannot supersede in any way Thelma and Louise. But for me, Sarandon has been able to have a private, activist life, and yet at the same time be an actress that no one will stay away because she's liberal.
Yeah.
They'll go because of who she is as an actress. I don't know. Take your choice.
2 powerhouses, but I'm glad you had the guts to commit to that decision.